And what are the benefits that you would see of working a pure? So this is again focused on the two contract consultants. The benefits of working a pure contract desk over working a dual desk.
Okay, so think about this: is when you do a dual desk, right? You do permanent recruitment, which to me is like matchmaking.
Yep.
Yeah, but like I said before, or like I mentioned, is when you do a contracting desk, you're assembling and running a mobile workforce. So when you have to do both jobs, what I see with consultants all the time is conflict. They're like, how much time should I spend on the matchmaking? How much time should I spend on this, right? For the people that actually understand it. And the thing is, I think often recruiters can get confused, because then if they're doing permanent recruitment, often what they think is contract recruitment is the same as permanent, but for a shorter period of time. They don't actually understand that they have to manage that workforce, that it's a different job completely. So I don't like to see them conflicted. And the other thing is, because they're different jobs, different people are good at it, like they're different skill sets, right?
Yeah.
And I think when you have to do both, you don't get a chance to become really, really good at one of them and become specialist in it. Like, you don't refine your skills. It's like you're just running back and forth all the time. You know what I mean? And also that thing about having a pool of people you can send to work versus people you want to place. I mean, they're different pools, so they have to do two jobs at the same time. It's not the same job at all.
Talking to the process of both, because obviously both processes are nuanced and individual. So contract recruitment cycle versus the permanent recruitment cycle. How would you overlay that same benefit to being a pure contract specialist? The fact that they adapt to both and they are different.
Okay, so what I like to think about a contract recruiter is, if you think about when you go to hire a car, right? And you go to the car hire company and you say, do you have a 4-wheel drive? And they say yes or no. Like, they'll know instantly, right? Because they can go on the computer and tell you. A good contract recruiter will have the same ability to do that, right? Whereas a perm recruiter, they are looking for someone for a particular job, and sometimes they might have to go and search for that person. So it's a different process altogether, and in many ways a lot slower, if that makes sense. So the thing is, can you do a deep search on perms and know immediately who you've got in your yard? So if you think about the cars in your yard, right, it's like running a fleet. So if you're thinking about your contractors as running a fleet, who do you have out there that you can send it straight away? So I think there's a definite speed difference in process. That's also why it suits different people, right? To some extent, I think contract recruiters perhaps don't need as much patience as permanent recruiters, right? Because we know permanent jobs can drag on and on, because some clients have very long processes. They maybe can't make up their mind. You know, lots of things can happen. Whereas contracting, it's different. So they are different traits for the person that are running, you know, either desk, and it's because of the process, right? So the processes are so different. I think naturally people go either for one or the other.
And talking to the success of both, so a good contract recruiter and a good dual desk recruiter, where do you see the levels of success varying for those two individuals, for personal success?
What do you mean? Can you be more specific?
So I'm of the opinion that at a point with being a dual desker, that you plateau and you can't really move beyond probably 15 to 20. If you take a snapshot of the market, obviously they're going to be outliers, but snapshot of the market, you very rarely see someone beyond about 15, maybe 20 contractors, and consistently and servicing their permanent market too, versus contract recruiters. The sky's the limit. 50, 60, there is no limit there. 70, 100 we've heard of in the market, right? So to the success point, do you see a difference in your role, and why do you see the difference in success points?
Totally, I completely agree with you. I mean, it's funny though, because sometimes people sit on the dual desk and they think, oh yeah, you know, I'm already king or queen of the castle, right? Because they think they've reached a ceiling. What they don't understand is that if they were to give one or the other away, then they would actually potentially, and I mean, I have worked with several recruiters over the years who, I mean, I can give you an example of one, you know, like she was sitting on 1.2, doing a dual desk, 1.2 million a year, right, in billings. And it took probably 3 or 4 years of talking to her. And then one day she said, okay, that's it. I'm just going to do contract. And she went to 1.6 the year after, immediately, right? That's incredible. It is because you can focus. And the funny thing was, she said to me, Sophie, why didn't I do it sooner? I said, I don't know. You weren't ready. You weren't ready, right? And the thing is, depending on which vertical you're in, I mean, some verticals like the one, you know, when you're talking about 20 or 30, sometimes what I say when you do a dual desk is you're dabbling in contracting.
Yeah.
If you want to be serious about contracting, give away the perm. Or if you want to be serious about perm, then give away the contracting. Like, decide, don't sit on the fence, right?
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Completely.
I mean,
all right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Sophie. That was awesome. Now, at the start of this, you mentioned you have a new book coming out. So what do we expect and what can we expect from your new book that's going to be on everyone's Christmas list?
So the new book is actually an updated edition of the old book. And the reason a lot of things are the same is because at the heart of recruitment is relationships, right? Yep. Is relationship building and maintaining those. So all those things are still in the book, all the things you got to do to be good at that. But the new things that I've added are chapters by various people to do with tech, because it's been 9 years since I wrote the last one.
A lot, right?
Lot of things have changed. You know, labor hire licenses have come in. There's tech. Branding is, you know, a big part now. You know, we have social, like there's a lot of things that are new. Legal, I've put in there because I actually am a little bit worried about how a lot of contracting companies agree to clients' T's and C's, right? Because they just go, okay, yeah, we'll sign that without knowing and understanding what it actually means. And it puts companies at risk. So those things I put in there. They're new. Work and health and safety, like it's amazing what's changed in all that time, right? But at the heart of it, a lot of it is actually very similar. But the reason I updated was because the old one was out of print. And people were saying, well, can't you just reprint? And I thought, I can't reprint a book that's 9 years old.
I'll have to do some update, right? So it's Contract Recruitment 2.0, yeah?
Yeah, it is. It is. And awesome. It's needed because I do think that in the last few years, people have become very transactional because there's been so many jobs. It's like people have been eating from the buffet and just doing speed and job filling, but forgotten about the relationships, I think, on both sides.
Yep.
So don't worry, there's plenty about that in the book, about relationships.
Fantastic. I love your quote, and I use it all the time, and I steal it often, which is service, 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 and sales will follow.
Oh, you changed it slightly. Mine's actually money will follow, but same. Yeah, same.
I love that quote.
It's true though, right?
Sophieism, 100%.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you again, Sophie, so much. And so how will people reach you?
Thanks, Jeff, for inviting me along to talk about one of my favorite topics in the whole world. If people want to know more or want to work with me in any way, they can reach me via LinkedIn. They can go to Unique Coaching site, which is YOUNIQUE. I also do have an app on the App Store, and they can have a look at that. All my contact details on there as well. So, I think that's it.
Thank you so much, Sophie Robertson. That's been awesome.